between three distinguished gentlemen, locally known, especially around the Hamilton area. Couldn't miss them if you walked by them. Welcome to Three Minds Think Alike.
And we are back with our fourth episode. This is nuts. I'm Spencer Grenier, joined by Kyle Chambers and the Max Hatter. And before we start, I want to thank you, the listener, for listening to us. Again, you have motivated us to try new things and experiment this podcast that we love so much, especially our random topics. But if you want more notifications, please make sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more of whatever comes to our three noggins. But you already know the whole deal, boys. I got my cup of joe. And off we go. Let's dive in now. Friendships, bonds that are special, caring, it means so much to the human heart. In addition, having a loyal friend indeed has its satisfaction. They make us laugh when we say a funny joke. They help us bandage the wounds when overcoming a tough life obstacle. And they motivate us to bring out the best within us when a great opportunity comes into our life. However, a friend doesn't always necessarily have to come in a human form. They also happen to be fluffy, scaly, and even feathery. No, I'm not talking about the monster that lies under your bed. I'm talking about the one family member that we all have, a pet. Waking up in the morning to be next to a big 100-pound dog that is excited to see you for his or her morning walk. Playing around with the laser pointer that makes your cat go berserk. I also recommend taping aluminum foil on its paws. It is one of the most hilarious things you will ever see. Having a parrot singing with its obnoxious chirping, it doesn't mean that they hate you. They're just happy to see you. And even though a fish doesn't show any facial emotion, I'm sure that they are happy and have a positive reaction when they see you on the other side of the fish tank. And just like having another family member, it's a big responsibility making sure that your loving critter is healthy and knows that they are a part of a great group of people. Overall, having a pet is a great blessing, not only physically, but emotionally. So I know you guys have and had a pet before. And Max, I know you're the only current one that has Coda, the German Shepherd. How has it been with having her in your life?
Well, just having a dog, she's like a stress sponge and a depression sponge. So it's like, you pet her for like 5 minutes. It's like, congratulations, you are no longer stressed. Or same thing, but instead it's like, you're no longer depressed because I was having a really bad day or whatever. You wouldn't actually know because I'm always upbeat, but I actually do have depression. We only found out when my last dog died, and just having a dog always keeps me in a more upbeat mood, or having a pet keeps me in a more upbeat mood because they're there. You can pet them, you can cuddle with them, you can play. It's just great to have a pet around all the time.
I have had several pets. I actually had three goldfish, and I think they were named Marty, Wayne, and Gordy because I was a big hockey fan when I was small. I'm still a big sports fan. But overall, I did have one pet. His name was Bo. He was a Shih Tzu Bichon, and he was just a little dog, and he was with us for, I believe, 2 to 3 years, and he was a phenomenal little dog. He was great for companionship. And I did some research, and according to the research I've done, the dogs and different pets you have can actually be a social catalyst to you being more social in the real world. So it is about companionship, but also helping you be more social with people around you.
Yeah, especially when it's like, if you take your pet to the dog park or something, and you can meet with all the other people with dogs and talk and make more friends. Yeah, it's really nice when that happens.
It's actually true. And actually another proven fact that it does it boosts confidence, especially if you're an insecure person. I wouldn't say insecure, like socially awkward. You have a hard time talking to people. And I think that it's more comfortable when you're talking to someone that also has a dog. So that when you go to the dog park or even just a regular park and able to let the two dogs play with each other, it's nice to even talk to the owner, and then it really creates a bond. So that the next time you go back to the park, you can kind of schedule a play date with both dogs.
Yeah, and it really doesn't come down to what pet you have. There's no one pet that's more effective than the other, but different pets will have different ways of communicating with you. Like dogs are really good for emotion and that sort of thing, companionship, as far as reading your emotions, where cats are more so good for overall companionship. And so there's different ways of looking at pets, but I think it's regardless of the pet you have, if you nurture the right way, if you genuinely love the kind of pet you have, it can go a long way.
Absolutely. So, guys, with having like so, Max, even like with yourself, with having Coda and Kyle and I, when we soon to finally have our pet once again in our lives, what are some activities that you enjoy and past enjoyed with your critter?
Well, every night I always find this fun, but we always like kind of, I guess, wrestle to and play for like like half an hour before bed just to tire her out. But it always seems a really, it's always really fun thing to do. Even though I end up with like all these scratches on my arms and stuff, because those claws are sharp. Even though she doesn't mean to scratch, it can happen. And also I just like going on long walks with her because like I used to barely go to Pier 8 because my other dog she wouldn't be able to go that far on a good day, and when it was a day she could go that far, it was too cold to even go over there. So I like walking down there. It's just a really nice to go to the pier with Coda. Like they have this whole little beach spot. She loves to like just dig in the dirt, even though it's just a little bit of dirt. And then there's like the little park you can walk by, really nice. It's just a nice place to be out by, like the skating rink. Yeah, I just have a lot of fun over at the pier, just being there. Like
Having said that, Spence, I used to take my dog outside. We go for walks, and because of the way the weather is in Southern Ontario, and it's pretty mild compared to obviously going up north and being very cold in Northern Ontario and even Northern Alberta, or west, then come going down to Florida, it's going to be blazing hot all the time. With the weather being very consistent, I was able to take my dog out for walks on most days. There's obviously some days where it's too cold for his paws or too hot for his paws, depending on what he wanted. He was a very sensitive dog, and I mean that in the most loving way. That's just, but yeah, going outside for walks and doing that consistently with your dog is not just good for the dog, keeping them active and getting them out, make sure they're getting their vitamin D, but also good for yourself because you're getting out and doing something, getting out of the house, getting away from technology.
Well, that's a big one too, Kyle. Yeah, I have noticed that too, that when you have a pet, you really hone away from social media and having to with the comparisons. Pretty much what we talked about in our first episode, or second episode, I believe, where we were talking about social media. And we should have mentioned about having a pet helps out too. I like how it just transitions into today's episode in a way, right? But I've noticed that too, where you're able to just be like, I'm with my dog. And then eventually you start posting videos of your dog or pet, fish, reptile. You're like, this is awesome. This is better than your bikini pic. Get out of here. Heck yeah.
yeah, like there's like total compilations of just like dogs doing stuff on their walks videos.
Yes, yeah, and let the people judge. Because like, yeah, because at the end of the day, you're again being comfortable in your own skin. I'm with my companion, so if you don't like that, well, then go to the next story. you know, at least I'm happy at the end of the day with my fur ball. Come on, I want to ask you this question here, and because all three of us know that it's costly, right? And just like what you said, Kyle, earlier about having the vitamins and making sure it's taken care of, it is costly to maintain a healthy pet, and it doesn't matter what animal or reptile it is. Do you feel that it should be cheaper? And I'm not meaning, and let me emphasize this question. It's not the fact of we can afford it. Say all of us can afford having a pet, but it can be so expensive. And do you wish that it can be cheaper? But we're willing to pay for its vaccinations and food and toys and whatnot.
Well, obviously, which could be cheaper, the vets the bills are expensive because the vets are specialists. Like that's what they do. They went to schooling for being a vet, right? So those things are going to be more expensive. And like my dog Bo was on a special diet. We tried kangaroo, we tried all these different things. And for my parents who had to pay for the vet bills, they were very expensive. So I think it could be cheaper, but at the end of the day, if you're choosing to take on a pet, I'm not saying a service animal, don't get that mixed up. If it's a service animal, then that's a different thing, and you should help get payment through that for different subsidies. But if it's for a pet, then you should take on the responsibility of paying for it because you're the one who wanted the pet and you're taking on that extra payment. So I think it should be cheaper, but at the same time, people should make sure that they have enough before they get the pet.
Feel that there is a benefit with this too. I also wanted to add that it really helps you out with responsibility, especially for myself when I had my dog. I was around Kyle's age. I was mid 20s, right? I was 24, 25 ish. And
It's amazing that you think I'm young. We do have a bit of an age gap. We do have like a 5 or 6 year age gap. So we
yeah,
don't think of it that way until it comes up. But
yeah. And it felt so good. I did not regret anything. I was so happy that I was able to get his vaccinations. He was already dewormed when he was first born, so that was already taken care of. He was microchipped, but of course, like every month, I would put him on Heart Guard and Next Guard, and Heart just to have the healthy heart because again, taking him on the long walks. But then the Next Guard would be for tick and flea prevention. So we would weigh him, and then they would give the correct amount of dosage for him, so that he doesn't have. So say if he got bit by a tick, so to speak, it wouldn't affect him. He wouldn't get Lyme disease. The tick would die in an instant. But those were the small things that I enjoyed, and of course, getting him the best food. I wanted to. He was always on Roll Canin. And what I like too is they give you two options. They have the puppy version until they get to a certain size, and then they have the adult version. And he loved the hell out of it. he ate so much, and that dog became huge. Like he was pretty much like, think about it. The dog was like the size of this Blue Yeti microphone, and all of a sudden it's like, jeez. It's kind of like Kodamax. I remember how she was just a little puppy, a small little girl, and then now she's a dinosaur.
Yeah, when we had got Keisha, she was my other dog. Like she was so small, but her ears were huge. Like her ears were like most of the microphone. Then like we got her tattooed and she got chipped. Is like her one ear looked really green. So we had this one really tall green ear, and then it all like all the kind of like tattoo ink kind of wears off, so you can't really notice like the green when she like after a year.
Did you? Was it? I remember you showed me a picture when we were back at school. Was she like she was a husky, right?
Yeah, Siberian Husky.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was only supposed to be live to like 12 years old, but she made it to 17.
Damn. Okay, don't get it twisted, guys. Just because they have the life expectancy of, they expect to live this long, that doesn't necessarily mean that animal is going to actually live that long. If it's all about, again, guys, like, it's all about diet, taking care of the animal. But Kyle, I wanted to tell you that you did mention about, again, earlier when you were saying about making sure that the pet is healthy. How do you feel? How important is it to kind of treat your pet when, we're feeding it dog food or cat food, but in a sense, you can also feed it vegetables, depending on the vegetable and the fruit. How do you feel? Because sometimes that's crucial with the animal and help it live longer. I've seen a few videos on YouTube that they have like an animal that's 25 years old, looks fantastic, and the owner just stopped feeding it dog food and fed it vegetables. So do you feel that there should be a proper balance with that?
well, my aunt claimed that she fed her dog banana, or they'd split a banana, and then they'd each have a banana because it helped for the dog's potassium. It was a really nice golden retriever. So there's things like that you can do, but talk to the vet about the allergies of the pet. Obviously, don't feed it peanut butter if it's allergic to peanut butter. There are advantages to feeding your pet human food, but talk to your veterinarian and do your own research about what is best for your dog and test the waters the first little while to see what actually works. And obviously, this is just my family's opinion, not feeding your dog from the table during dinner time, because if you have friends over or whatnot, then it's gonna get kind of awkward when you're all having steak and
Baking at
Charlie,
the table.
your retriever, wants steak too. But on a more serious note, just talk to your veterinarian and first little while test to see what the dog likes and doesn't like. But if they're allergic to something, like for example, if they're allergic to apples or chocolate's another big one, don't feed them that as you would for your kid, obviously, if they're allergic to something. But yeah, just doing your research, and I think if you are able to feed them vegetables and having those good nutrients within their food or like as an extra snack, that is something to think about.
Yeah, like I totally agree with you. You talk to your veterinarian, do your own research, because before we knew this, we found out Coda loved grapes, and we'd give her a grape every so often, and then we found out grapes aren't good for dogs. But she loves blueberries, so we switched to blueberries, and blueberries are okay. There's things like they can't have garlic, they shouldn't have onions, and there's just a whole list of things people can have because we would digest it differently than the dog would, and I'm pretty sure that's the way it is for pretty much every pet.
With your pets, what future activities would you want to do with your pet?
Well, I'd
I
like
want
to
to
get
continue to walk it. I love walking the dog, playing fetch in the house. I also love to just sit and watch TV when I had a dog. Regardless of what pet it is, I think it's important to be able to bond with your pet, and I think that's something that I can do, taking them for walks, doing the little things, and I think that's something that it's a very common thing when you're sitting watching TV or going for walks, and it's something that you both can enjoy.
well, I really like the idea of continuing to do walks and just having her around when we're watching stuff, but then it's like she doesn't sit on the couch. It's like that's the people spot. And also, I'd like to get her a new. Well, it's not really a soccer ball. It's got like grooves in it, so she can actually hold on to it and carry it around. I'd like to get her a new one of those eventually because she loves just playing soccer, even though she's only a really good goalie. She doesn't kick it around or anything. She's like, I got it, catch.
Yeah,
Okay, I got the thing. Now what?
yeah.
Yeah, the one she currently has is very well destroyed. I'm hoping we can find a new one for her so we can give her a new one.
Oh yeah.
Because I think she would really like to play soccer, and not have the ball rub apart in her mouth.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing for me. I would love to bring my dog on vacation, whether if it's going on a road trip and hitting up a bunch of beaches, or even in the wintertime, like going to national parks, let him or her enjoy the snow. That's one of the things that I really want to do when I finally own a golden retriever in my near future. It would be amazing, and maybe just maybe let it cross the border with me so that I could let it go visit my mom in Michigan, and maybe potentially let him or her have a taste of what Florida really is. You, but I want to go to the shelter, or I know Max, you got to go take Coda out on a walk. Kyle, I know you got the fish and you're going to stare at it for the rest of the afternoon. Let's go have a fun time with our future critters, current critters. And guys, thanks again for this awesome podcast. Episode 4, baby.
You're
Thank you
gonna
very
lose.
much, Spence. We're 4 episodes in, and go follow us on YouTube at 3 Minutes Think Alike, and we're also on LinkedIn as well, where Spence tags us in all the episodes.